take Wilt's accomplishments for granted. Okay, so I understand it was the 1960s, and you can argue that guys were less athletic then. I'll hear you if you want to say guys were less athletic. I think naturally, of course, we evolve and we get a little bit, stronger.
JJ Redick more athletic than half of them dudes back then. Back then.
Stop.
Even though JJ Redick the other day on Twitter called
a dunk shot
a dunk shot, he called a dunk shot. JJ, what the hell is a dunk shot?
They haven't used that term since the 70s. They used to use it in the 70s, but like since the 70s, dunk shot like got eliminated as a term that people use.
He's been watching a lot of old videos too, it sounds like. So
yeah, I've been watching the Lakers Blazers 1977 conference finals. And I'm about to watch the Blazers Sixers 77 finals. I was watching it because shout out Glass Malone. Glass Malone does not rock with Kareem. So I was like, I've been trying to go back and like watch more Kareem Abdul-Jabbar minus Magic Johnson, like younger Kareem, to like okay, what was Kareem? What was he really, really like? But Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, so I can agree with you, or at least see eye to eye with you a little bit on the athleticism. But when myths start creeping in is when people start saying, "Oh, he just played a bunch of small defenders, like they're all just like all 6-foot centers." No,
he played Bill Russell, and Bill Russell used to lock his ass up.
He got 55 rebounds on Bill Russell.
That means somebody missed 55 shots.
Okay,
that means
sure.
That means he got 55 rebounds. You know how many missed shots that was, Johnny? Come on, G. Johnny, come on, G.
In the middle. Okay?
Johnny, come on, G. Johnny, G. I'm not changing the argument, G. Come on, G.
I get your point, but you changed your argument. You were like, "Oh, you always."
I feel you. I feel you because we was going back and we was talking about if Bill Russell could guard Anthony Davis, and I said no. And then we went and we talked about how many buckets Wilt Chamberlain gave Anthony Davis, and it's a lot of buckets.
Bill Russell.
I'm sorry. How many buckets Bill Russell? I'm sorry. How many buckets Wilt Chamberlain gave Bill Russell? And it was a lot of buckets. We literally went through the list and we started reading them off one by one. And literally, it was a ton of them. So I feel you. But also, I was watching Prime Wilt highlights yesterday with my girl's brother. And everybody that was around him was little as hell except for Bill Russell.
So consider the fact that we have like 0.1% of Wilt Chamberlain footage. Okay.
Fact.
So it's like, pulling the best footages of him, even that, and a lot of the stuff that's going to be the best is 70s. And Wilt was
I've watched 70s Wilt. That shit was sad, bro. I watched like the 71, I think it was conference finals, Bulls Lakers. Wilt was sad. He had 30 rebounds, but he was sad. I'm like, this cannot be. I called my dad and he's like, hey, yo, bro, Wilt. He's like, yeah, I don't really like watching 70s Wilt. 70s Wilt wasn't Wilt.
Yeah, and a funny thing about Wilt is everybody who witnessed him like playing in that time says this, that Wilt was kind of like, this is the comparison I make, but he was kind of the Randy Moss of the NBA in terms of like sometimes he'd get the effort, sometimes he just didn't care. Yeah. That was kind of the stipulation or the belief of Randy Moss, and he even said things that kind of affirmed that. So did Wilt. He just wasn't always motivated. He did not have that Michael Jordan, that Kobe will. And so even some games he might not be as engaged. He might be not be as motivated. When people started saying like, "Oh, you can't facilitate," you're just too much of a ball hog. That's why you lose. He's like, "Fine, I'll lead the league in assists." And so he goes out and he leads the league in assists. And so you had to motivate Wilt. So even when you see like a clip, you have to consider that it might be the 0.1% of his footage, and then even then, like, is that the best version of Wilt that we're witnessing? But I think there's a lot of unfair criticisms of Wilt. One is he didn't win as much as Bill Russell. Well, there's way more Hall of Famers in the Boston Celtics. There was no free agency during that time, meaning that if you're winning championship after championship, nobody's going to leave. Why would you trade winning over?
Somebody would counter that argument by saying, did their talent make them Hall of Famers, or did Bill Russell being on the team and winning so much make them Hall of Famers?
Don't just put that on Bill Russell.
Okay, true.
I'm just saying.
He used to be the main one that was saying he would let Wilt score until the last 4 minutes of the game.
And then he'll play defense.
Yeah, my argument for players does not come at the detriment of the other player. So I'm not going to say like Wilt's awesome and then feel like I need to belittle Bill Russell to prove that Wilt's awesome. Like,
that man said he would be JaVale McGee if he played today. That's disrespectful.
Nah, because there's. Have you seen that footage? Go to the Wilt Chamberlain archive.
I was watching it. I was watching. He's extremely big. He's extremely big, but all these guys today are extremely big, like he was.
Not like Wilt, G. It's not that many people Wilt's size, bro.
10 inches tall, and he's running in a full sprint, bringing the ball up the court. He takes a foot inside the free throw line, takes off, and jumps over a dude and just lays it up.
That sounds like Giannis. Giannis better. Giannis is better than Wilt.
That's a different argument. Is Giannis for what? They're like, oh, JaVale McGee's better. No. Okay,
I'm not gonna compare JaVale McGee to Wilt Chamberlain. That's disrespectful. That is disrespectful.
The reason why I don't like the size argument is because there are always players who are just, even Giannis is basically bigger than everybody else. Shaq was basically bigger than everybody else. Yao Ming was basically bigger than everybody else. There are always gonna, even LeBron to a certain extent, especially at his position, was basically just bigger than everybody else. Man. But at his position, they said the man was 6'9", 280. It's centers that ain't 280. They said the man played a game and did they say gained 5 pounds mid-game? Something like that.
Talk about Zion the Lion too.
Yeah.
He's bigger than everybody.
I think size, when it comes to like players and modern NBA and everything, I think it's a little overrated sometimes. People are to say like he's a bigger player and stuff. Because think about defensively, like who was one of the best defenders on Michael Jordan? Like look at the NBA Finals. Who did the best job on him? Gary Payton. Like statistically, he held him to only 27 points.
He was only
27. Go ahead.
Which is also why I didn't like the way Michael Jordan tweeted Gary Payton in that damn documentary. Don't be laughing like you ain't had no problem. Yes, you did have a problem, Mike. You did have a problem, Mike. Don't lie to me, Mike. We all saw that, Mike.
I ain't had no problem with him. You wanna know why? Because we won. So I ain't had no problem with him.
Yeah.
Still dropped 25 plus on his head.
Who was one of the best defenders on Shaquille O'Neal?
Dennis Rodman.
Exactly, and a much smaller guy. You know,
Wallace.
Who's one of the best defenders in the league?
Smaller too.
Patrick Beverly. Dude's like 6'1". Okay, and
Russ would not agree. Russ would not agree.
Russ would not agree. No, Kevin Durant would not agree either. Kevin Durant would not agree either. He put 50 on that man's head, and I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and I talked to him after the game. He put 50 on that man's head. And then Patrick Beverly told me, well, what you want me to say? He Kevin Durant.
Well, who's Kevin Durant?
We wanted to smoke. But guess what? They got smoked.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
hold on one second. Hold on. Speaking of that, I was able to find a clip of us talking about Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell and how many buckets Wilt Chamberlain gave Bill Russell. I'm about to play a minute of it, Johnny, so watch this. This is a throwback clip from 2018.
These are games they played. Wilt gave him, they played 94 games against each other. Wilt gave him 30, 45, 39, 22, 47, 44, 43, 43, 25, 53. Wilt gave this man 39, 26, 34, 34. 30, 39, 30, 44, 25, 46, 46, 34, 27, 47, 28, 41, 31, 52, 41, 62. I'm not done, dude. 62, 48, 38, 26, 30, 45, 43, 32, 23, 45, 50, 31, 40, 34, 23, 24, 35, 31, 28, 30, 32, 30, 24, 37, 24. Then Will started to get a little wild for a second. 8, then 31, then 30, then 16, then 28, then 27, then 27, then 27, then 30, then 27, then 28, then 31, then 37, then 14, then 29, then 27, then 32. He gave this man so many buckets. Oh my God,
he held that
bro.
man under.
Exactly. Did you hear that was like 2 minutes worth of buckets, and you heard a few 50s and 60s in there. But go ahead, Johnny. Talk that talk.
At this point, is that what you're doing? Because weren't you saying that like he was were you agreeing with me that Wilt's like not as great as advertised, or?
No. Look. You said he has an argument to be the GOAT. He can't be the GOAT because he didn't beat Bill Russell. But that don't mean he didn't give Bill Russell buckets. He was giving Bill Russell buckets. But we like Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan won.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan was in a league that allowed him to win. You could
Wilt Chamberlain was too.
You could come to well, hang on. You can come to the drug circus of Chicago and build up a franchise because you're allowed to trade for Scottie Pippen from the Sonics. You're allowed to sign guys in free agency. Like, they were able to build a team. It is so much harder to build a team in an era that doesn't have free agency.
They didn't have free agency.
You know, and so
they didn't have free agency.
I just never feel like
yeah, but what about when he went to the Lakers? I mean, he did go to the Lakers.
He was older though. He was older. He was older.
He wasn't the same. He wasn't the same.
He was older. He was older then.
But based on your argument,
he wasn't the same. But also, it was only like 12 teams in the league. So let's not act like the level of competition that would. His team should have been stacked too. He had Wilt Chamberlain on it.
He was.
I'm talking about when in his younger days. Wilt should have at least had 3-4 rings before he even hit the 70s. He didn't.
Let me put it.
He should have 3-4 rings before he hit the 70s.
If you have LeBron and the Cavaliers against the super team Warriors with Kevin Durant, does it matter how many teams are in the league?
It wasn't about he went on it. Come on, man, stop that. Stop that.
Stop
that. Wasn't nobody out there playing with Wilt.
I think he might have had like one Hall of Famer with him.
Jones, John Havlicek, like
and also player to player, Wilt is better than LeBron. As a scorer, as a force, nobody could stop Wilt Chamberlain. Player to player. Yeah. Bill Russell even said, I only guarded him in the last 4 minutes of the game. I just let him tire himself out.
But that goes more to Johnny's argument of why he possibly has a heat.
That goes more to my argument of why he should have won. Him and Jerry West. And I have mad respect for Jerry West. Shout out to Jerry West. Very nice guy. Always give me a head nod, say what's up to me when we buy the ice cream machine at Staples. Well, formerly, when we used to do that back before all of this COVID stuff. So I rock with Jerry West, a human being. But him and Wilt, they both should have more rings, and people cannot make arguments for them to be GOATs because they did not do better.
The issue,
especially in a time when they were really like the first supreme versions of what they were, and they still couldn't win.
Yeah, but hold on, because I've even watched some of those last seconds of those Lakers Celtics game. The reason why the Lakers could never beat the Celtics was the Lakers had great guards, but they really had no bigs. They just really had no answer for Bill Russell. And most of those games, it wasn't like they got washed most of the time. They were losing like crushing fashion in game 6, game 7.
That's my whole point.
But
that's some Chris Paul stuff.
But listen, but listen, they didn't have bigs. Like, they would always have the guards, but I mean, they still had like Bob Cousy. You had Havlicek. You had other guards that could like match them, but they had nobody until they got Wilt Chamberlain, who was older, to be able to match Bill Russell.
Yeah, and I mean, when I think of Bill Russell and I'm arguing in favor of Bill Russell, I'm not thinking Lakers. I'm not. Okay, and he didn't have the most longevity. He didn't last as long. But it was when he was in Philadelphia. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's when he was putting up numbers, and that's the Wilt I'm thinking of. And he didn't have the same level of team. I will hear you out if you say Lakers, Celtics, they had more talented teams, because when Elgin Baylor and Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain got together, that was the first time the word like super team started popping up. Like, they were calling them a super team. So if you want to criticize them there, I'll give you that. But my argument is that just wasn't the same Wilt Chamberlain. And if you look at the era, it's not he's
still averaging. He still was averaging 20 and 18 though. I mean,
20 and 18 is a far cry away from 50 and 20.
I mean, yeah, but you got the whole logo on your team. You have the logo on your team.
Listen to me, bro.
Listen to me, bro.
Listen to me, bro. Listen, bro. If I saw a man average 50 and 28, and I see that same man average 28, 18, he's washed now. In my opinion,
I saw Kobe average 35, and I saw him average 22.
No, stop. Kobe in his prime, his MVP season was averaging 28.5 points a game. In his last season, he's averaging like 17.6. That's more than half. Wilt was averaging less than half the amount of points he did.
He averaged 50 though. That's like if James Harden finished his career averaging 18, we're gonna be like, oh, he washed. He ain't washed just because he averaged 18. 18 is still a lot. 18 and 18.
Not for him.
Yeah, the standard's different.
Yeah,
and actually, when he was
why he can't be the GOAT.
And actually, hold on. When he was in LA, he never averaged 20. The year he averaged 27, he got hurt. No, hold on. That was the year when he got hurt. I think he had like a knee issue. He got hurt and he averaged 27 and 18 in 12 games. He averaged 25 and 20, which is great, but not for Wilt. 20 and 18, 14 and 19, 13 and 18.
How many of them teams was Jerry West on?
G.
I don't want to hear that, man. That's weak, G.
How you spin a narrative. Because the same way you can say that he wasn't washed at that point, I could say this is what a washed Wilt looks like. How amazing is that? Like 20 and 18 isn't like nearly as close to his standards.
Pavy, you the main one to tell me players' prime is between when they 28 and 31. Wilt was 31, 32. He was 32 when he became a Laker. He wasn't washed. He was not washed.
G, listen, but
he
listen.
also said numerous times in interviews. They said, what? Go ahead.
Listen. He got hurt. The year after his first year with the Lakers, he got hurt and played 12 games. He did, because I was literally watching the game. He did something to his knee, and also I think Jerry West either got hurt or Jerry West retired one of those years,
and then he came back and played 82 games.
Yes, but bro, I don't know what exactly he did to his knee. Also, in that time, medicine ain't the same. Maybe you don't recover the same. Even if it's like a bad knee sprain, you may never recover from a bad knee sprain in 72 the way you would. Yes, but you used to average 50 and 20.
G, so what?
That's you. G.
So what?
You not
LeBron
the same.
used to average 30. I don't criticize LeBron because he
you
don't average 30 now.
all the time. You literally call him
because
washed
wait a minute. But I don't
call him washed.
Wait a minute. But when have I ever once mentioned him scoring about him being washed? I call him washed because of all the other stuff that he used to do that he don't do no more.
He averaging more assists than he used to, and damn near averaging more rebounds.
I'm not talking about assists, and I'm not talking about rebounds. You talking to me about Wilt scoring. Wilt was still rebounding on par with what he was doing before.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
27, 25, 24, 22, 23.
Also, wait a minute.
24,
hold on,
23, 21. Then you
go
to after he get hurt, he get 18, 18.
How many teams were in the NBA though? You also got to consider that too.
Wilt is not
more
prime
people
Wilt
got
Chamberlain,
added.
G. Lakers Wilt is not prime Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt should have won more. That's my whole point. Wilt is not the GOAT. He not the GOAT for the same reasons Kevin Durant and LeBron James will never be the GOAT. Because you can't be the GOAT when you play second fiddle, when you was the guy and you was the MVP and you was the one that everybody was considering to be the best in the league, but somehow you could never mystically get it done. Because when Steph Curry was considered to be the arguable best in the league for 3-4 years, I got a couple championships out of that.
Best in the league for 3-4 years.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. From 2015 to 2018, he won fucking unanimous MVP from 2015 to 2018. He won two MVPs. He won two MVPs and went to 3 finals. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
2015 to 2017,
are you serious?
2014, no. 2018, no. 2018, no. 2018, he wasn't better than Harden. He wasn't better than KD. I'll give you from 2015 to 2017.
You're ridiculous. Tell small game James to go make a playoff or a finals, and then you could call him better than Stephen Wardell Curry.
Johnny, question. Because my argument would be, I think that Kareem has an argument. If anybody else outside of Michael Jordan is Kareem. Reason being is I think he has the best basketball resume. Now, you can say that because I even think that Magic, once he came to the Lakers, was like the capitalist of the Lakers. Even like just watching like a lot of old Lakers games, what they were really missing and why they didn't win was they had terrible guard play. I'm watching like Lakers Blazers, they couldn't get the ball past half court sometimes. So Wilt even got, not Wilt, but Kareem even got to come out to which back then is a quote unquote outside shot. Right now, that's a regular mid-range jumper, but back then that's a quote unquote outside shot. So even though like Magic was the catalyst of those teams, I think that when you look at full total basketball resume, you look at his MVP, you look at his range, you look at the numbers he put up. I think outside of Michael Jordan, and if somebody older than me wants to tell me Kareem is a GOAT, I can't really argue with you. All I gotta say is I feel you and walk away. So my argument would be Kareem. So what would you say for, when you argue Kareem against Wilt Chamberlain?
I respect it based on your premise. And I think that's what people need to acknowledge when we're talking about the GOAT is the things that I value and how I'm going to interpret the GOAT are going to be different than you.
Fair.
If talking about the greatest resume of all time, by the end of it, we might be talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and LeBron, because
Michael Jordan. and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but even then,
how can LeBron's resume be better than Michael Jordan when LeBron don't have 6 Finals MVPs?
I'm not saying it is, but people will say he has 40,000 points. He might win another championship this year. He has over 10,000 assists. He's a better all-around player. He can defend 5 positions.
No, he's not a better all-around player than Michael Jordan. He's not a better all-around player than Michael Jordan. I disagree with
that.
The
numbers will look like it.
I disagree with that.
The numbers will look like it.
Yes, the numbers will, but the numbers will because of the same reason why Kareem numbers are crazy, because of longevity. It's not like Michael Jordan played 20 years, then you talk to me about what his numbers will be. But longevity don't make you the GOAT.
Yeah, but
Cal Ripken played forever. He was the Iron Man. Nobody ever calls nobody ever. I've never heard anybody say Cal Ripken is a GOAT because he played a long time and accumulated a bunch of stats.
Like Barry Bonds, though. That's a great question.
He got Hall of Fame level numbers.
But does he have better numbers than like Barry Bonds, though?
You're yelling at him?
Yeah, but LeBron don't have better accomplishments. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. But LeBron don't have better accomplishments than Michael Jordan. So just because you have better numbers and you don't have better accomplishments, how does that make you a better player? I'm confused by that. That confuses me.
For instance,
Kareem is the only guy that can argue with Mike in terms of accomplishments.
Nobody
else in the NBA history can.
Bill Russell is probably more accomplished than Wilt Chamberlain. But because
you know what? I take that back. Kareem, Bill Russell, and Mike are the only 3 that if you want to talk about actual accomplishments.
But then it also, but then also go back to what do you value as an accomplishment? Because if you're talking about individual players and like numbers, I think have to go into it.
No,
championships are team. Championships are team
people
awards.
don't play basketball to accumulate stats. Stats are a byproduct of playing basketball. They are not what you play basketball for.
Okay, if it's all about winning, then it's Bill Russell. It's not all about winning. I can't give it to a guy who shot 44% on the offensive end when you're a center. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I want you to be dominant on both ends of the ball. And yes, he played an unselfish style of play. But if you're only averaging 20 points a game, shooting 44% from the field as a 6'10" center, I'm sorry. I can't.
But also the thing about Bill Russell
number for defense. You don't.
Yeah, but also the thing about Bill Russell number. But but then here's also the thing when you talk about context, especially for guys like older guys. The thing about Bill Russell is we don't really know his full stats. He might have been averaging a quadruple double. He might have had 10 boards and averaged 8 steals. And if the Defensive Player of the Year award was around, he might have won every single one of them. So we don't. But then it goes back to Wilt Chamberlain. He might have won some of them awards as well. We don't know what Wilt Chamberlain really averaged. Wilt Chamberlain might also average a quadruple double every game. So we really don't know we don't know all of their full stats, but the reason why when people go back and look at history, they put Wilt above Bill Russell is because of Wilt's individual accomplishments.
Right. But Michael Jordan has both. That's my point. That's why Michael Jordan is my GOAT, is because he has everything. There's no holes in his game. I look at the eye test. I see his athleticism. He has the accolades. He has the statistics. He has the championships, the MVPs, everything. There's no holes in his game. What I see people doing is they'll argue against somebody's argument because it's a different premise. And so if you're talking about who is the best player when they were at their best, well, then I could maybe argue, Wilt Chamberlain over Bill Russell. But if you're looking at the totality of the career and you value team winning more, then of course you're going to choose Bill Russell. And so that's the part that I feel like people ignore is like you're just valuing different aspects of their games.
I think contextually, Bill Russell played against the fewest amount of teams in the NBA history at that point in time. It was the fewest amount of teams that was ever in the league. There was less parity than ever in the league. If you want to talk about actual parity, the 90s was really where it was the most parity in the NBA.
70s.
No, not the 70s. The 90s. No, the 90s, but Jordan tipped the scales. No, but Jordan tipped the scales. Jordan did what I wanted Wilt Chamberlain and LeBron James to do. And that's go out and dominate. Once you hit your peak, dominate and never look back. And he didn't. He didn't until he retired, came back, and then played for a franchise as an old guy.
70s, because you could even say that expansion weakened a lot of the teams because they put in so many new teams in the 90s.
Yeah, that's exactly why I said it's the most parity in the NBA. You don't know what parity means? It means everybody has an equal amount of chance to win.
Listen, and the reason why I said the 70s was you barely saw people get back to the finals. They had the NBA-ABA merger, so then you brought an influx of talent into the league with the talent that you already had in the league. So I would say the 70s is the only time in basketball history in which you really got true basketball parity.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that because also you're merging two leagues, new players, new leagues.
Wait, Johnny, wait.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, there is some evidence to what you're saying because the 70s is I believe, the only decade where there was no back-to-back champion.
No back-to-back champion.
Champion every single year. And so, I mean, that kind of supports your case a little bit there.
I think Michael Jordan was a tipping scale. I think Michael Jordan was drafted in the 90s, and if you look at the 90s, I'm sorry. He was drafted in the 80s, but his peak was in the 90s. Even what was he? 6 years into the 90s before he won his first ring. 7 years, 5, 6. I mean, it was somewhere in between that span. He was from the 80s. It wasn't like he was drafted in the 90s. They also expanded the league in the 90s, which meant that every team had to lose some guy that was valuable to them. Which meant that everybody that lost somebody that was considered to be valuable to them, it affected their team. Like you literally add it was 2 teams, right, in the 90s? Did they add 2 teams in the 90s?
In the 90s, but that was in like the late 90s, and then you added, I think, in the late 80s, you added the Timberwolves, you added the Magic, you added the Heat.
What year was that?
Hornets. Like they all got added in late 80s. They all added late 80s.
22 to 2019.
Yeah. 2029. Yeah, I think they all got added. I think that those teams got drafted. Added. I think the Timberwolves, the Hornets, the Heat, and the Magic
all started in 95. The Grizzlies started. The Grizzlies was founded in 99.
The Raptors was 95, and I think through 88 to like 91 or something like that. It was the Hornets, Magic, Heat.
So if you look at the 90s, you have a bunch.
But then
of
you can say
franchises.
the Bulls lost no one. Like there is no key piece the Bulls lost.
Yeah, because Michael Jordan was a great equalizer.
No, they just literally didn't lose any key piece. BJ was still there. They didn't lose Scotty. They didn't lose. They didn't lose.
When they needed to win, who did they rely on? Michael Jordan.
All of them. The team.
Huh?
The team. Okay.
They relied on Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. That team was extremely top-heavy until they got robbed. It was. No, that team was very top-heavy until they got robbed.
I disagree with that because
Horace was an all-star 1 year, right? And actually, he wasn't even an all-star in Chicago. He wasn't even an all-star in Chicago, right?
Nah, he was. Yeah, 94. Yeah,
94. Okay. Oh, yeah. And then
that don't mean they weren't good. Horace played his role.
Yeah, but wait a minute. But 94 was when Mike won there, right?
Yeah, but listen, hold on. John Paxson, key player. Craig Hodges played his role. BJ even came in, played his role. They had a very good, solid team. Role players make team. They had a very good, solid team.
Mike was the great equalizer.
They even depended on John Paxson. He was on a documentary late in that game.
Oh, you learned that in a documentary. Oh, you saw that in a documentary that you didn't like.
I never said I didn't like.
Oh, okay, fine. You saw that documentary you didn't particularly care for.
I never said I didn't like it. I said it could have been better, and I still think it could have been better. And I've seen that game mad times on top of that. But anyway, even when you go back and watch that game, down the stretch, it was John Paxson hitting those shots. Also, John Paxson shot like 60% that whole series. If your point guard shoots 60%, there's no possible way you're losing. So, like, yes, obviously, Michael Jordan, and if you want, you don't think Scottie Pippen was a superstar. Yes, Michael Jordan was the only quote-unquote superstar, but they still had a very, very good deep team the whole way through.
Moving through the city, we be going. Roller that's you pulling, now you know it. Fresher than a mass contract. Pulling up, we walking in.